Tickets are only $35 and include a copy of his book, along with the opportunity to have it signed by Mitch. All proceeds benefit Hospice of Marion County. Buy your tickets online at hospiceofmarioncounty.com. Call Cindy Moody, 352-291-5143 for more information.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
This is a good book. Okay, let's talk about the book. The book is written by M.L. Huie. The title of the book is Spitfire. It is a Livy Nash mystery novel. It's the first time I was introduced to Livy Nash. And so we're going to find out about this. Did he say call him Michael?
Michael. Huie is the last name.
What did I say?
Huie.
H-U-I-E. I'm sorry. Michael Huie is a featured journalist, a teacher, an actor. Is that right? A playwright?
Yeah.
Oh, my
amazing.
gosh. It's VE Day, 1946 in London. Remember that, Robin? We were there.
I do. I know.
No, we're not old enough.
Year.
World War II was long over. Former spy Livy Nash celebrating with her third drink before noon. She went to war to kill Nazis. Dropped behind enemy lines as a courier, she quickly became one of the toughest agents in France, but her war ended with betrayal and the execution of the man she loved. Now you want to know more, right?
Yeah.
The book Spitfire is on Amazon, and I'm sure it's elsewhere, but let's find out from Mike, M.L. Huie, H-U-I-E. I'm so sorry I mispronounced your name. Good morning, Mike.
Not a problem.
How are you?
How are you? Good morning. Good morning.
I'm good. Where are you? Where are you calling from?
I'm in North Carolina.
So where did Livy Nash come from? Did she come out of your mind, or was it based on a real person?
No, she's actually based on a couple of real women. I found out several years ago that the British, and we did, the United States did this to a certain extent, during World War II recruited amateurs, primarily for their language skills. So they would be to go undercover in occupied countries, and then gave them training as spies and saboteurs. So Livy's based on two real women. So yeah.
And how did you find out about that? You know, a lot of people have a fascination with the World War II era, and I often wonder if there isn't a romantic element. Even though it was a horrible war, there's something romantic about that time period. I don't know how to explain that.
There is. I never was really that focused on World War II or interested in it until I read this terrific book called Codename Verity. It's a fiction book by a woman named Elizabeth Wein, W-E-I-N, and I read it, and it was about some of these women who were recruited as spies, and I thought, that's fascinating. But yeah, I think it's just, it's a war that we still consider the quote-unquote good war, if there is such a thing, where there were definite bad guys, and the bad guys had those black uniforms with, the death's edge of the SS, and we were fighting for a noble cause.
Right.
But lately, I think if you go to the bookstore, there is a whole stand of fiction, primarily with female protagonists, normal people fighting in resistance in various countries around the world. It's just kind of exploded in the last few years.
Is it written from Livy's point of view?
It's not first person, but it definitely is her point of view, yeah.
And when you were writing the book, it seems like you really got to get into the head of a variety of personalities that you probably never even knew existed with the dialogue.
Well, yeah, exactly, yeah. Quite a few of them, yes. But that's fun, and as you guys mentioned earlier, I've, worked as an actor for 20-some years, and so that's kind of what we do, is get into the heads of different people. And so, for me, that's a major part of the fun.
And she has to deal with a lot of things that happened in her past, as well as keeping focused on what she needs to do today.
Yes, she does. Yeah, she's haunted by the past. I mean, I think today we would call what she has PTSD. And she's not dealing with it necessarily in a healthy way when we first meet her. But to me, what was interesting about her story, because there are many terrific books about these women during the war, and my book is a post-war. It's 1946. So Livy went to war, was really good at what she did, and then came home, and like a lot of women at that time were told, okay, go back and do sort of these smaller jobs that are for women, because of the traditional roles at that time. So she's very frustrated when we first meet her.
And it seems like she's sort of trying to vindicate herself from the past, because she was fooled and now she knows better and she needs to do that. I can't be specific because I don't want to ruin it, but it was so well done.
But she's also got to learn to fight kind of a new war, because one of the things that was interesting for me about writing this was, this is like the initial stage of the Cold War. Livy deals with an American who she has sort of a somewhat romantic, untrustworthy relationship with, and a Russian, because obviously the Russians were our allies during the war. So we're at a time when you're negotiating who's on your side, who's not on your side.
The book is getting really good reviews on Amazon, and the book is only 2 days old. Wow, brand new book, and you're getting some really good reviews. So this is exciting for you. So again, I don't know if maybe this went over my head. Is Livy a new character for you?
Yes, this is my first novel.
Ah, okay.
And this is the first in a series, and there will be a second.
So, it looks like, especially since you're an actor and a screenwriter, is this tailored for a potential movie one day?
Well, I've written a couple plays, but I wouldn't consider myself really a playwright because the plays I wrote were for me to act in. So I don't want to take away from people who are actual playwrights. I think it's, everybody wants, their work to be turned in, to get a bigger audience. But that's certainly not anything that I was thinking when I was writing it. I just wanted to write something that entertained me at the time, and hopefully entertained other people as well.
Because Rob and I speak to authors all the time, every day, and so one of the things that seems to come up a lot is not that the book is made into a movie, not that. I kind of made you think that's where I was going.
I'm sorry.
Does it read like a movie? Because some people will say this reads like I'm watching a movie, and that's what I got from this.
Oh, terrific. Well, thank you for that. I guess I do love movies, and part of my research is watching old movies, because you get to see how people lived at that moment. You get to see what these places were like in the 40s, as opposed to today. I can't go to Paris in 1946. I did go to Paris, in the 2014 when I was writing it, but I have to rely on films for
Did you go to, I don't know, give some authenticity to the writing? Was your trip to Paris related to the writing of the book?
No. In hindsight, it was. Originally, I was going to set, the book takes place in London and Paris. Originally, the second city was going to be Vienna. And my wife, Brooke, has always been saying, we've got to go to Paris, and I really didn't want to for some reason. And so we went, and I thought, well, if we're going, I may as well use it as a location. And I went, and of course, fell in love with it because, it's everything it's cracked up to be, quite frankly. It's gorgeous, yeah.
And your title has different meanings also.
It does indeed. I do want people to know this is not a story about aviation, since the Spitfire is known as a very famous plane. But it's Spitfire is the name that the Germans gave Livy because she was formidable, which is something that did happen with some of the real life people. And Livy is a bit of a Spitfire, you could say. So.
Yeah, she has to be, and she's written wonderfully well. Yeah, I just love her attitude and the dialogue.
Very good, exciting.
Well, thank you.
Very exciting. The book is available on Amazon. I see it's also an audiobook. You have a female narrator, is that right?
No. There's a terrific actress, woman, who I actually had some input into who they chose, and a wonderful woman is doing it. Yeah.
Very good. And do you have a website that you'd like to tell us about?
Absolutely. www.mlhuie.com. You can go there and see reviews and where to buy and information about the new book when it's available.
Oh, I can't wait. Thank you for being on the show. Come back. mlhuie.com. Huie is how Mike spells his last name. Thank you, Mike. Good to hear from you.
Thank you. Pleasure. Thanks so much for having me.
We'll be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox News, I'm Chris Foster. The House today debates and votes on a resolution calling on President Trump to request congressional permission for any more strikes on Iran. Vice President Pence says about the drone strike that killed the top Iranian general.
To protect sources and methods we're simply not able to share with